I was looking at some stats about marriage, and it says that in 2019, marriage rates for opposite sex couples fell to their lowest on record since 1862. That's in the UK. And in the US, marriage rates have been declining since the early 1970s. And I'm not married, but I spend a lot of time thinking about whether I should be or not. I actually had a conversation recently with my partner where I said, "Do you want to get married?" And it was abundantly clear that she does want to get married.
Mm.
But then I asked why, and really, it seems like it was really just more for the wedding than for some kind of legal contract that we sign with the government. So I'm really wondering, based on everything we know about history and the trade-offs of marriage, should I be getting married?
Yes, because your partner wants to.
Is that reason enough?
But here, all right. So, I think the institution of marriage, what you're going to see, this is my prediction is that because nuclear families,
What do you mean by nuclear family?
so having two, well, it's interesting. There's different perspectives now on nuclear family, but I look at it as you have two partners
Mhm.
and children, and that creates the nuclear family. That becomes an economic unit which drives a society. And as that has disappeared, there's been less of a base to drive society per many researchers. So as a result, what I believe is going to happen, as we see right now in Singapore, as we see right now in China, as we see right now in Japan, you're going to see government heavily involved in incentivizing marriage. And
Yeah, they have to incentivize men. And all men are asking for, change the divorce laws. I don't want to have to be paying alimony and spousal support to a woman who divorced me when because she didn't feel like she was in love with me anymore. Now I have to pay money every month for her and get kicked out of the house that I bought. And while I pay for her money, spousal support, alimony, whatever, and while I pay mortgage for the same house that I bought, that I got kicked out of, meanwhile, she's bringing in new guys to clap the cheeks. It's like, why am I paying for something that I'm not a part of anymore? That's all men are saying. Change the laws. I'm telling you guys, if they change the divorce laws and they're saying, hey, listen, guys, from now on, divorce means you can't take 50% of anyone's assets, man or woman. I'm telling you right now, you will see men lining up. You will see men proposing left and right. Because that's the number one thing that's holding back men from marriage.
marriage is already incentivized right now in terms of tax benefits, being able to leave assets to your partner, leave assets to family members. So as a result of the decrease of marriage and decrease of nuclear families, you will see government step up even more to incentivize. So you're going to see all types of benefits being thrown at people to get married. Especially as you not only see marriage rates decline, but as you also see birth rates declining as they are. Now, your question around what should you do is that this is a question around values, and this is a question that I believe is very important to have early on. Now, I was saying, when you meet someone, you should lay out exactly what you want. This is a very important question to have early on. Now, in terms of where you are with your partner, I would say that if she is if she is pro this, and you are indifferent, it feels like you're indifferent, not anti, but indifferent.
Yeah, I think I'm somewhat agnostic to it. However, I can call out a bunch of downsides to getting married.
Really? Like?
Uh, well, again, I don't know because I'm not married, so all the married people are like screaming.
Did he just say like? So he doesn't know the downsides of marriage to a man? And this is what most guys hate. Most guys hate men like the other guy on the other side, not him, the other guy talking, the relationship expert. Because no matter how many times men are screaming the divorce laws, the alimony laws, the spousal support laws, the kick me out of my own house law, all those things, the child custody law, no matter how many times men scream those things, men like him never talk about those issues. Men like him act like, oh, you're just scared. A real man cannot be scared of divorce. You know what's funny? These guys are never in the divorce court laws when men's lives are being ruined. This guy will attend your wedding, but you know something he will never attend? He will never come to attend your divorce proceedings in the courts when the judge is messing you up, when your ex-wife is taking everything. This guy will never show up. He will say he's busy. Oh, but when it comes to your wedding, he'll be the first one to show up.
Me right now. I know this because they DM me. They've been DMing me for many, many years since I started the Diary of a CEO. Because in some of those early episodes, I was really like, I was really quite against it. But over time, I've kind of developed my thinking here. I just wonder. I can't understand the first principles as to why having a like government or religious contract with somebody is going to increase the probability of success in the union of love. There's obviously the issue with the prenup situation.
Yes.
I actually don't have this concern with my partner, so I think she's. I think you've met her, haven't you? You've met her, yeah.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
From a distance.
Yes, from a distance.
Yeah, I don't have a concern that she's gonna try and bankrupt me or that I might try and bankrupt her.
Mm-hmm.
That's what every man who has been bankrupted said. Every man who never signed a prenup and then the woman took half his shit. Those were the famous words every man once said, that I think she's the one. I don't think she wants me for my money. Those were the words every man said, whoever is going through divorce and the woman's trying to take half his shit. Because this guy is rich. Like, we are talking about millions of dollars. But he thinks, for now, because everything is good, for now he thinks the woman doesn't want anything from him.
So that's not really a concern. The whole charade of like doing a massive wedding, I think, is a little bit weird. I think, why can't we just have lots of events over the next 50 years where we bring our friends and family versus like one? I've also watched a couple of my friends at the moment who are getting married. The like 2 years of pain and heartache and like canceling date nights so that they can afford this one wedding day
Yeah.
feels like highly illogical to me. I've got one
Yes.
particular friend who is having to cancel so much of their like everyday joy to save up for this one big event, which is stressing them both out. And I don't think they're going to have, well, I don't think he's going to have a great time at the wedding anyway, because he seems so stressed by it all. I sometimes hear that people can't like get out of their marriage without having to like file a divorce
Yes.
thing with like through lawyers and
Yes.
going to court and battling it out in court. And I just think you should be free to leave if you want to leave. I don't know. I just think
Mm-hmm.
this is a terrible analogy and completely unrelated, but like in football, many of the problems we see with my favorite club, Manchester United, at the moment, is we've got people on 5-year contracts who we just can't get rid of. And like they want to go, we want them to go. But because we sign these long contracts with them, it's like incredibly difficult. And now these players are being like thrown in the back room and they're not playing football and we're like just completely ignoring them because we can't get out the contract.
Yes.
So I don't know. I just think,
Yeah. I hear you. All right. Can we talk about this?
yes.
All right. There are many secular marriages, so you don't have to do anything religious related. And it sounds like a big difficulty that you have could be the number one is the wedding. Because, but the wedding,
No, it's the divorce. He was trying to be nice. He doesn't want to get canceled. He has a big podcast, so he can't come out and say it's the divorce. He did mention it actually, but obviously, all the time, the relationship experts forget the most important thing to men. Most men wouldn't worry about spending so much on a wedding if they don't, if the divorce won't cost 10 times more. You feel me? So it's the divorce. Most men have an issue with the divorce and how divorce destroys them.
to me, the premise of it is a public declaration of your love. And to your point, it could be as small as you want, it could be as big as you want, you could have as many as you want, right? That public declaration could happen 50 times over 50 years. It is up to you. So that is you and your partner navigating that space. With regard to getting out of it, this is the single biggest change that we need in marriages. Marriages, in my opinion, should be much harder to get into. You shouldn't be able, like literally, you and your partner could go to Vegas, drive up. So a drive through, you could have an Elvis Presley impersonator marry you. You pay $25 and you're married. It's ridiculous. I think that there needs to be hurdles in place. There needs to be some type of vetting, some type of premarital coaching, counseling, so everyone is aware of the commitment that is about to be made. And you have the tools, you have skills around conflict management, etc. It needs to be hard. But then if you want out, you should be able to get out in an hour. It should be easy.
Drive up, Elvis Presley says, it's over.
I disagree. The reason there's so much divorce is because it's actually easy to get out of a marriage, in my opinion. Now, the proceedings may take forever because, courts have some backlogs. You may file your divorce today, but there have been like 1,000 people who filed before you. So the judge is going to see them before you. And it's not like they have 1,000 judges. They may have one judge overseeing maybe 100 cases. So for me, I disagree with him. It should be easy to get married, and it should be very hard. Very hard. If the institution of marriage is that important to society, it should not be easy to just leave. And people who leave should not be thanked and appreciated and gifted assets of someone else. I'm going to say that one more time. If the people who decide to divorce another person, they want to go, it should be easy for them to go, but they should not be rewarded. They shouldn't get a gift. They shouldn't get a token of appreciation. Hey, listen, we want to thank you for divorcing a man you made vows to stay with for rich or poor. We want to thank you by giving you his house. We want to thank you by giving you 50% share in his company that he had before you found him. We want to thank you by giving him half of his retirement pension. We want to thank you by giving you all his kids and he can see them when you decide to. We want to thank you by letting you stay in the house he had before you met him. Those are the things they should change. But until those things are not changed, men are going to walk away.
$25.
It's free.
Yeah.
Yeah, free, right? That's the way it should be. But it is the reverse. Now, you're right. Marriage is hard to get out of. That's changing. There's now the introduction, especially in the UK, of the no fault, right? But it still could take 6 months or so. There still is a lot of haggle. So I agree with you there, is that it should be much easier to get out. But ultimately, what marriage is a declaration of commitment done in a formal way.
Can you not do that without the marriage? Like, can you not do a declaration of commitment without having to go to like a church or whatever else and sign documents and stuff? I don't know. Is it not possible?
It is.
You know,
It is. So
I think I just have commitment issues. I think that's probably what it is.
yeah,
I think that's at the core of it.
because what's so interesting to me is that
No, and that's where most men go wrong. Now, I'm going to be fair to him. He has a podcast, so he has to blame himself so that the feminists don't attack him and so that the feminists don't stop watching, right? He has to write the line, which I also try to do, but in this case, he's lying. It's not that he has commitment issues. He has trust issues when it comes to divorce. Like I said, he mentioned it a little bit, but this guy talked about the wedding rather than focusing on how many men get destroyed when divorce happens. How many men lose their houses, their assets? How many lose access to their kids? How many men have to pay spousal support to someone who claims they're strong and independent and don't need a man? Those are the things men shy away from those things for some reason, and until they start talking about those things, men are not going to get married.
you're already going to, well, how do I get out of this?
Yeah.
Right? And it almost feels as if there's a fear of committing to someone for the rest of your life.
Yeah.
Because that's a massive, I mean, think about this. You're going to commit to someone for the rest of your life, for the rest of your days. And what we feel, because I've been there, because
I'm getting anxiety as you say it. I'm like, fucking hell, the rest of my life.
the rest of your life. But think about this. The anxiety is the fear of what has not even come yet. So that means that you can now interrogate your thoughts. Okay, you have fear over what? What's the fear?
But isn't it just a terrible idea to commit to someone till death do you part? Because, like, imagine if I said to you, you got to pick a job and then you got to do it forever.
Yes.
The amount of procrastination that would occur because of the significance of that decision would basically stop you picking any job at all, because you'd be like, okay, no, I've got to pick one and do it forever. And, you'd become a perfectionist. You'd be looking for perfection in every single job. And maybe this is in part the issue, is that because we see marriage as being such a final thing, that we really have to make sure the pick is perfect.
It's perfect. I agree. This is one of the myths, right? This whole notion of till death do us part, which really was handed to us in religion. If you look through Christianity, Hinduism, even a lot of the modern day Islamic marriage ceremonies, there's some formation of you will be with this partner for the rest of your life. And I think what that does is it actually sets us up for a lower level of satisfaction. It sets us up for complacency. Oh, this is all we get, right? Instead,
They can't leave me.
they can't leave me, so therefore I don't have to try as hard. I don't even have to talk to them now.
Yeah, I don't have to go to the gym.
No, I can just sit here like, so
I honestly disagree with him so much, because I believe the reason why people use religion, or they brought religion into marriage, is because they know human beings have an issue with commitment. So they're like, oh, you believe in God? God doesn't like people who cheat. God doesn't like people who are disloyal. God doesn't like ABCD. So if you're gonna marry, because you can get married without using God into it, like he said. But if you take those vows and you make those vows, you're gonna have to stick through it. Now, am I saying people should stay in abusive marriages? No, but I'm just saying the reason why they use religion is because they figured if you really fear God that much, you're not going to make a commitment with God involved and you break the covenant. You feel me? So for me, I think the biggest issue is we don't have people teaching us how to be married anymore. He kind of alluded to it when he talked about using, premarital counseling, but it's like, unless the people counseling you are married also, but if you're just seeing some random, psychologist or therapists, and they're not married themselves, and especially if they've not been married for a couple years to show that they understand what they're talking about, until then, it's going to be marriage rates are just going to keep going down, and obviously divorces are going to go up. Also, I believe, this is Boogie's opinion, in terms of premarital counseling, oh, we want to get married, let's talk to people who have been married before. I believe you should also bring people who have been divorced before. They should use men who have been destroyed by marriage as well, who have been destroyed by divorce, to talk to the man and be like, hey, listen, you're going to get married, but this is what's up. This is what you're looking at. This is what could happen to you. And then the man can make a decision, not based off love, but based on real facts. But what do you guys think about that? Link down below to the full video.